Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about the importance of having the right environment for your healing. A lot of people overlook this and they try to go through their healing journey around some of the same toxic people that they've been around, or around environments that are not healthy or beneficial for the progression and promoting healing. And these things are important and critical because if you are, you know, in an environment where you're constantly having to defend yourself, or you have people targeting you and whatnot, whether it's, family, friends, whatever, co-workers, that environment's not going to allow you to heal. To heal, you have to be in stable, healthy environments. You have to be around stable, healthy, healed people in order to heal. You cannot heal around other wounded people, or people who aren't really healed themselves, or people who are in toxic environments themselves, right? Because they're going to bring you into that, and you're going to stagnate your progression and your healing. A lot of these things go on, at the job. You have a coworker, a boss even, that's very toxic, and you have to figure out a way of dealing with that because, it can become problematic for your livelihood or whatever you're doing. One thing is to understand you have to have an overall objective of where you want to be, health wise, mental health wise, physical health wise, etc. You have to know, you have to have that definite purpose. It's important to have a definite purpose because that's what's going to keep you focused without straying away and without allowing these negative things to totally consume you and overwhelm you. Many instances, people have, you can even have roommates. I've even heard of stories about people with roommates where the roommate was toxic and created, just this bad energy, this bad vibe, this bad aura of, just energy around them. I'll tell you one thing, and I've never seen it to fail. You cannot focus in stressful, chaotic types of, environments or around those type of people. You're going to have to figure out a way to put yourself in the best position as much as you can so that you're not constantly being exposed to these things. Some of you have family members. You may have to still deal with them, but it's about how much time do you give them? It's about limiting yourself. It's about not making yourself as accessible to these toxic individuals. It can be a challenge. I won't lie and say it's not. It can be a challenge, especially if you're dealing with family and stuff like that. It can be a challenge. But the way you manage this is through your exposure to them. You manage it by limiting your exposure to these toxic individuals. Right? It's going to put you in a better position mentally to ground yourself, to not constantly be around that, to not constantly have to deal with that, day in, day out, because a lot of people, they don't make those boundaries. They don't set or reset those boundaries of how they're exposing themselves to these type of people. And because they don't set boundaries, they may say, oh, I'm in the healing process and I'm healing and I'm getting this knowledge and information, but you're still dealing with toxic people. You're defeating the purpose. It's not going to work. It is not going to work. To fully heal, you have to eradicate every and all toxic people, including the places and et cetera, wherever they may be. You want to be on the opposite spectrum of where they are. You don't want to be around that. It's not going to promote, again, any type of healing process. The brain has to have stable predictability of things that's going to create security to you. You have to, first of all, reach that level of being secure to where you're comfortable, to where you know, like, this is my safe place. I'm good here. I don't have to deal with these things here if I stay here, right? And only certain people are allowed in your safe place, or your peaceful place, or whatever you want to call it. So if your safe space, wherever it is, you don't entertain anyone while you're in your safe space. It's important for the mind to kind of see this. Like, even if you're in the house, some of you, if you're co-parenting, or if you're dealing with family members or whatever, even if you have to talk to them, if your safe space is in your house where all your peace and serenity is, when you talk to them, maybe if you have a store that you can go to, sit in the parking lot, talk to them there, right? Because psychologically, you want to really drill in the fact that when you go inside your home, nothing comes in that's going to disturb the peace of mind and the safety that you have designated to be there in your safe space. You don't want to get into arguments in your safe space. You don't want to get, you don't want to bring in frustration and all of any of that when you're in wherever your safe space is. I say home because that's where most of you, that's where you reside, and that's where you're going to be, most of you, the majority of your time. So that should be the place where if there's any sort of peace and security, it should be inside your home. And no one who's going to violate that is allowed it in, period. Don't entertain it. Don't watch anything that's going to disrupt your peace of mind, within your safe space zone. Right? Because you have to have a foundation to build off to establish that new healthy you. So you have to have that, your safe space is base. When you had a stressful day at work or whatever, or dealing with other people, you can look forward to getting home, getting in your safe space, taking a nice long hot shower, a nice hot bath, whatever. And this is where you don't bring any of the issues or the conflicts or whatnot that you've had outside of there in there. And this is where you do your work on yourself in your safe space. And as you practice that, it will start expanding to where even when you leave your safe space, when you get around something toxic or negative, you won't want anything to do with it. You immediately remove yourself from it, because you're going to be noticeably conscious of what you're engaging in and what you're hanging around. It's important to understand that. So just keep in mind that it's an effort. It's work. Healing takes work. But most importantly, it starts with the proper environment. You have to be in the right environment in order to affect it efficiently. So Just keep that in mind and make sure that nothing that disrupts you or disturbs you or throws you off is coming into your safe space. All right. Anyway, make sure to like, subscribe, share. Until next time, have a good one.